I'm Kenneth Witt, and welcome to Gun Dog Nation. Gun Dog Nation is much more than a podcast. It's a movement to build a community of people around the world that like to watch a well-trained dog do what it's bred to do. Also, we want to get our youth involved into the sport of gun dogs, whether it be hunting, sport, or competition. We want to build a community of people united to preserve our gun dog heritage and to be better gun dog owners. Tune in to each weekly episode and learn about training, dog health, wellness, and nutrition. We will also offer tips for hunting with dogs and for competition, hunt tests, field trials, and other dog sports that involve gun dogs. Please go to our website, gundognation.com, and subscribe to our email list. We will keep you informed weekly with podcasts that are coming out. We also will be providing newsletters with training tips and health tips for your dog. You can also go to patreon.com/gundognation and become a member. There's different levels of membership on there. Just go check that out. Also, would like to thank Sean Brock for providing the music for this show, the introduction and the outro. As Sean Brock, he played everything on there except the banjo by Scott Vestal and the dobro by Jerry Douglas. Sean is a neighbor of mine from over in Harlan, Kentucky. I'm just crossing the mountain in Hyden, Kentucky, and he's a super talented guy. But most of all, I want you guys to check out the Creekers. They are also from Hyden, Kentucky, and this is an up-and-coming bluegrass and country band, and these guys are hot. They're all over TikTok and YouTube. You will hear these guys because in a year or so, they will be on the radio. They are very talented. Their videos are going viral on the net. These boys are family. Two of the lead singers, one grew up with my daughters, and the other one is my cousin's son, so he's family. But check them out. Check out the Creekers. Also, last but not least, if you want to buy a hat, koozie, t-shirt, or even gun dog supplies, go to shopgundognation.com and you can purchase any of those items. Thank you so much for listening. It's a privilege to have people that want to put up with me talking about dogs all the time. I actually enjoy what I do, and I'm so glad to have this opportunity, and thank you. Hello, it's Kenneth Witt with the Gun Dog Nation podcast, back with a new episode. I'm actually not in Texas today, coming to you from Eagle River, Wisconsin. We're getting ready to grouse up here tomorrow. It's my first time. Clayton, you've probably been up in this country coon hunting or something, ain't you?
I haven't made it over that far, but I've seen a lot about it. It looks pretty similar to where I live, except I hear their coon are a lot bigger than here.
So let's dig into that. First, I want to make an introduction to a guy on here who is way more well-known than I am. So it's a pleasure to have this gentleman on here. I've got to meet him in person at the Autumn Oaks Coonhound competition in Richmond, Indiana. But anyway, Clayton, I know you don't need an introduction, but introduce yourself, please.
I'm Clayton Stark. I live in Northwest Ohio. I'm married and have 3 kids, and have another one on the way, is due in end of March of next year. So I'm going to be 4 kids. I got a son and 2 daughters. Just was raised coon hunting and squirrel hunting for the most part, but now I do as much as I can outside with dogs, and just in general, I just love being outside, doing a little bit of everything.
Clayton, you're getting ready to catch me. I have 2 daughters and 2 sons. Yeah. My girl's the oldest, my boy's the youngest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll love it. They grow up fast. I got 1 in college, 1 in law school, and 2 out of college. So.
Oh, geez.
But yeah. So now, Clayton, is that your native state, Ohio?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Born and raised.
And what town are you in?
Edgerton is the town, but no one's going to recognize that. It's like 45 minutes from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and about an hour from Toledo, if you know either of those 2 cities.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yeah.
I've
learned, Clayton, that you're the expert on coon hunting more than me, and I've been exposed to it some growing up. I'm from Southeast Kentucky. I don't know if you knew that. Actually, the town that Casey Maggart's from, I'm from, and just next door to J.R. Gray there.
Yeah.
But as I started leaving Kentucky, working north as a landman, I got to Pennsylvania, and I was driving up in northern Pennsylvania, like around Williamsport, and saw what I thought was a bear cub on the shoulder of the road. I thought, dang, man, there's a bear. That's pretty cool. And I get up, and it was a coon.
Yeah.
So you guys, man, there's some big coons up there.
Yeah, we have some. I got one mounted in there. He was 28 pounds. That was the biggest one I got. But I got some trail cameras out now for deer this year. But I've got at least 2 that are got to be close to 30 that are coming in all the time. And it seems like the last few years, just seeing them and training them, they're just bigger and bigger. The bigger ones are getting more common.
What do you think's causing that?
Well, here there's just thousands of acres of corn to eat. And then a lot of the woods around here have huge oak trees, so there's always acorns for them to eat. There's soybeans to eat. There's food everywhere, and all the deer hunters put out corn, and it's perfect habitat for them as far as they have safe places to go in the wintertime, and we do get pretty good winters here, so they feed up and get pretty fat in preparation for it, and no one really traps, or there's not a lot of coon hunters around here anymore, so they kind of have free ranges to eat and live freely.
Now, Clayton, I know you do all kinds of hunting, but when you were young, what was your first type of hunting?
Coon hunting.
Okay.
Well, coon and squirrel both. It might have been, I don't know. It was during the daytime a lot. I remember that at first, but we always raised and trained our own dogs, so it might have been coon hunting, just training a pup in the daytime, taking it out for walks and stuff, but just mostly coon and squirrel hunting with dogs.
So what kind of dogs did you raise?
Well, Dad raised pretty much anything that suited him, mostly walkers. We had some blueticks and black and tans, and we hunted with my uncles and some of I call my uncles just because they were like a fatherly type figure that I hunted with every weekend. But one guy had black and tans, the other guy had redbones, and another friend had blueticks, and the other friend had walkers, and then Dad had a little bit of everything. So I got to see, other than English dogs, like red ticks and stuff like that, I saw pretty much every breed quite a bit.
So I guess that allowed you to kind of choose which one was your favorite.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sure I know the answer to that, but what is that?
I really don't have a favorite. I just want it to look big and houndy and have a really loud mouth and hunt the way I want. Most of the time it's walkers or blueticks, but I do like cur dogs too. So for squirrel and coon, but they're not big and loud, but they're just smart, fun dogs. But really I'll hunt any breed as long as it's a hound, looks like a hound and sounds like a hound and isn't mean and is smart. Like I like them all, so I'll hunt them all.
You know, I've actually have a little pretty good experience with mountain curs, and of course down in Texas you don't see that. You see blackmouth curs, but
yeah,
they're a very greedy dog, very athletic, high drive. That's what I found.
Yeah.
Now, do you breed dogs?
No, I do not. I get them as a puppy, or for pretty much my whole life, I would just go get a puppy from someone that I knew, or go somewhere and get a puppy and raise it and train it myself, and then just keep it until it died, really. And then I'd start all over. And then here more recently, I would get like a young dog that was maybe 5 or 6 months old, and then kind of start and train it for other people. But I'd like to get into that sometime, but getting a puppy was never been an issue for me. Like there's always puppies out there given to me or that I can get affordable, and it's something that I enjoy. There's dogs that I have that I wish I did breed, but it seems like over the years, I always get ones that suit me and that I like.
Now, how many dogs you got on the property right now?
8.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
It takes one to know one. Yeah.
Yeah.
What all do you have?
Well, we got a tree cur, a mountain cur, and then a mountain cur puppy. And then we just got another walker puppy, 2 full-grown walkers, my blue tick, and then my wife's, it's our dog. We've had him forever, but we don't know what he is. He looks kind of like a leopard hound, but she got him out of a box in front of a Walmart when he was a puppy. And they said he was an Australian shepherd with a blue heeler. And he is mostly brown with a little bit of blue on him. He doesn't look like either breed. So we're not 100% sure, but he's a houndy looking dog.
Now, are your mountain curs, are they brindle, fawn?
My oldest mountain cur, he's brindle. The mountain cur is 5 months old. He's like is it yellow or red? That color they call him. And then the tree cur is mostly black with some white trim.
Nice. Well, but we got so much to talk about, Clay, but I just got to know this. You know, I was wandering around Autumn Oaks, you know, just kind of taking everything in. I took a break from my booth. I was sharing a booth with JR, and I saw this sign, and people were lined up to meet you. And I was like, wow. And I knew your name, and I actually followed you on social media, but I didn't realize, how big you were. And I was like, wow. Then it's so reason I'm talking about this on here is because what was so cool is you stopped over by the booth there, and I was a nobody. No one knew who I was there. It was all JR's group and stuff, and you were a very nice and humble guy. But man, how did you get to that level of being known?
Just consistently making and posting stuff, and just I decided one day that I was going to do this. So it really wasn't a big change for me. I just started filming the stuff that I was already doing and participating in. So it wasn't like it was a huge change for my life. It was just kind of letting people see what I do and just showing people the stuff that I do in my daily life pretty much.
Man, it must work. I mean, we were looking at your followers, and I was like, holy crap, because the line to see you, I was going to try to talk to you. I thought, I know his name. I've seen his face. Matter of fact, I've heard JR talk about him. I may get this guy to be on the podcast. So I was looking for you. Then I realized the line was for you. And I was like, holy crap. So I thought, man, I'll never get to talk to him. Maybe I can. Luckily, you stopped by. But thank you. I appreciate you doing that.
Oh, no problem.
And I see you wearing a Garmin hat. You're probably sponsored by a couple people, right?
Yeah, Garmin and Valley Creek and Dog and Hunt Supply and Sunspot Lights. There's a lot of just like small hunting like hound hunting companies like that. Then Garmin's a bigger one. And then I recently am working with Three Rivers Archery because I'm starting to do some traditional bow hunting because I've always bow hunted with compounds, but I wanted to try something a little more difficult and make myself a little angry.
Hello, this is Kenneth Witt with Gundog Nation. Many people quickly become frustrated and confused when training a retriever. Cornerstone Gundog Academy's online courses eliminate all the guesswork by giving you a proven training system that will help you train a dog that anyone will be proud to have in their blind. Learn where to start, what to do next, and what to do when problems arise. Visit cornerstonegundogacademy.com to learn how you can train your retriever. I have used this method myself. I have been through it a couple times with different dogs. I refer back to it lots of times when I'm trying to get dogs freshened back up for hunt test season. I highly recommend them. I have actually been a subscribed member of Cornerstone Gundog Academy since 2016, and I would suggest anyone use it. I highly recommend it. They have an app that you can get to on your phone. You can do it from your phone, your laptop. You can't get any more convenient than that. I've used it. It's proven and tried. And I know literally hundreds of people that have done the same thing that I've talked to. Visit cornerstonegundogacademy.com and learn how to train your own retriever. Well, I might try to introduce you to a guy in Hyde, Kentucky, where Casey and I are from, named Shannon Crisp. He's a retired teacher. He's killed elk with his own arrow that he made. He's a primitive bow shooter and goes shoots all over the U.S. And he's a really nice guy. And you and him would probably hit it off.
Yeah, I've looked into making like your own bow and arrow and all that stuff. Yeah, and the amount of time and work it would take. Just for me, like I'm completely new to it. So I thought I will get something that's already made and then figure it out. And then maybe like when my son's older or something, that can be a project for us. But when we were coon hunting one night, I found, Charlie Atkins found an arrowhead when we were walking through the field, like a full, wasn't damaged or nothing, which around here it's rare because the farmers disc up the fields a bunch. So they usually end up broken or chipped. And we found like a whole perfect arrowhead. I say it would be so cool to be able to go bow hunting with something like that. Yeah,
now I know he shoots store-bought bows, custom bows, but he has done his own. But when this is over, I'll put you in. He's on my Facebook. I'll put you two in contact with each other. Super nice guy and so knowledgeable, and he's passionate about it. I mean, it's his life, and he'll scout a deer for 6 weeks.
Jeez,
and he kills trophies in Kentucky, but. Yeah. Anyway, that's interesting. So you just outdoor addict, I guess.
Pretty much. That's just if you live where I live. If you don't enjoy being outdoors, there's not going to be much for you to do.
Yeah, I grew up in the same type of place. Now that terrain there, I know Ohio well, but that part of Ohio you're in, I don't know as well. Is it more of a rolling hills or is it flatter?
It's really flat, and it's right immediately in this area. There's pretty good timber. I mean,
Okay.
for Ohio, there's nowhere in northern Ohio where there's big, huge tracts of land, but it's right here, the places I hunt, it's got pretty good timber. It's a lot of mature, like big oaks and a lot of trees I wish I could deer hunt out of, but they're so big that I'd have to, I don't know how I'd get up in them, but
Constructing a tree house or something.
yeah, something like that.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, Clayton, how old are you?
35.
So how long have you been at this? I guess it would be professionally, right? I mean, you're doing this for a living. How long have you been doing that?
Probably about 5 years or so, 5 or 6 years.
When did you quit your day job?
I'm not sure. It would probably been somewhere around there, 5 or 6 years.
And what was that?
I worked maintenance in a local factory here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you learn that in vocational school, or did you learn it self-taught?
No, I just growing up in a real rural area, I just started doing that. And I worked there while I actually went to college to be a teacher. So I worked there sometimes part-time, sometimes full-time when I was getting my teaching degree. And then I started hunting dogs for other people just for extra money in college. And then that kind of took over more of my time.
Did you ever teach?
Not really. I did my student teaching like my senior year, but I coached football for like 16 years, I think. And then coached baseball for 4 years. So I started coaching football when I was 18, my first year at high school. And then this last year was the first year I didn't coach just because my kids are starting all day school, and the school I was coaching at is 45 minutes from home. So I couldn't pick them up from school and be there at practice at the same time. So,
well, you and I have one thing. My undergrad degree's in teaching, and I'm like you. I never taught as a job, but I did my student teaching, of course, to graduate. But yeah. So, what subject would you have been teaching?
Social studies. I started doing social studies and language arts both, but then I switched to just social studies like my junior year. So, if I wanted to, I could probably take some classes and get that too, but it was just social studies what I graduated with.
Well, nice. I just admire somebody, Clayton, that takes something that they love and turns it into, a way to make a living. Yeah. And you've done that. I admire that really a whole lot. And so tell me, I mean, did it just slowly evolve, or did it just grow into, hey, man, this is a full-time thing, and I think I might quit my day job and just do this?
Well, I started filming stuff. This was probably like 10 years ago. My dad's health got to where he couldn't go hunting anymore, but we still had dogs together. So I would take an old camera hunting, and I would just make it was like a Walmart camera phone that was like $100. It was just terrible looking back on it, but I'd make little videos for him to watch just so he could still see the dogs hunt and stuff. So that was kind of my first experience making dog hunting videos. And then I guess it would have been 7 years ago because my son just turned 7. I was thinking about getting a nicer camera, and I was deer hunting, and I heard a buck grunting kind of down. I say I was up on a ridge, but in Northwest Ohio, a ridge is like a 20-foot hill. It's nothing, but it was just getting daylight, but I could hear a buck chasing a doe down in the field. And then as it got daylight, that buck, it was probably 150 yards out in the field. It mounted a doe and started breeding her. And I shot him off of her back with my muzzleloader, and he just dropped down off of her and stood there. So I hurried up and reloaded and thinking I missed. And by the time I got my gun reloaded, he just fell over dead right there. And I was telling my wife about it, and I just was kicking myself that I didn't have a good camera to film that with, because I told her no one is going to hear that story and believe it. And if you could have seen, it was the craziest thing that I'd seen deer hunting wise that I'd seen. And I had already been thinking about getting a nicer camera because I said, we're going to have kids. We're going to want to take pictures and record the kids. I said, I'll just get a camera. And I got a camera, started filming some of my hunts and doing stuff like that. And then I decided I wanted to start going and filming like other people, because I'm not a competition hunter. I just like pleasure hunting and going meeting people and making friends and kind of doing what I did growing up, just getting together with family and friends and going hunting. So I decided to start doing that and filming other people. And from there, it just kind of took off and turned into what it is now.
See, I didn't know that about you. I just assumed you were probably, because you were at Automotive, that you were a competition hunter too.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
It's probably, maybe I can relate to you, because it's probably just too dang stressful, right? I mean, you just like to hunt for fun, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I said I've coached football for at least 16 years. I'm a very competitive person. I've done powerlifting and strongman stuff, and I played sports, and I'm a very competitive person. And the idea of turning something I loved into something where I'm going to go argue with someone in the dark, it just never really appealed to me.
Hey, I can relate that. My cousin, Todd Horton, actually, his son is one of the singers of the Creekers band.
Okay.
Him and his friend, another friend of mine named Randy Williams back in Leslie County, got me to go to a fishing tournament in Lake Cumberland. And I had no idea. And we took off. It looked like the Navy. It was just white caps of these Ranger boats. And I had a this is back in the day when a 120 horsepower was a decent sized motor. And we took off, and I thought I was going to get sunk. No lie. I thought my boat was going to get sunk. And we stayed up we fished from 7 in the night to 7 in the morning. I'm weak. I got sleep, man. I can't. And then I and I'm a tightwad. I kept losing baits. There's $5, $10. I was like, when that got finished, I never turned and fished again. I thought, this is not fun. I want to relax. And I was practicing law at the time, which is stressful, right? Yeah. And I hated it. And I want to spend my weekends doing something fun.
Right.
And it just was. And listen, those guys, I admire them, and they're good at it. And I suck, but it's just not me,
Right.
So I know how I relate to you there.
Yeah, definitely.
Clayton, of all the stuff that you do, all the types of hunting, what do you think that you're best at? We all have something that we feel like this is my strong point.
I would say with just hunting young dogs, probably. I say I don't have patience, but the older I get, especially having kids, I've developed a lot more patience and gotten better. And I think raising pups has made me a better father. And I think being a better father is helping me have more patience with pups. So probably that is just getting a dog started and getting it to where it's consistently doing something. That's probably, I love it and I hate it because it's stressful, and pups are most of the time, especially if you're raising it from a puppy, you've dealt with craziness and just all the stuff puppies do for 6 to 8 months before they start doing stuff in the woods. So you're already kind of ready for them just to take off. And then they do take off, and then they might start doing something wrong. And then you kind of show them the way. But I'd say probably I'm not saying I'm the best pup trainer in the world, but that's something that I really enjoy and feel like I'm decent at.
Hello, this is Kenneth Witt with Gundog Nation, and I've got to tell you guys about something that I've gotten hooked on lately. It's Pho-licious. These are gourmet instant pho and ramen bowls that actually taste like the real deal. When I'm out in the field all day and the last thing I want is to settle for bland camp food, Pho-licious is what I go to. It's authentic, the flavor, it's real ingredients, it's ready in just minutes. It's perfect for hunters, fishermen, or anyone on the go. And you can get them over 1,900 Walmarts nationwide, your local HEB here in Texas. Or you can just go online at pholicious.com. Trust me, once you try it, you'll keep a few stocked in your bag, in your backpack, or for your next adventure. I just want to say this, I want to add this to this commercial, because I know the owners of this company. They've hunted on my ranch. Joseph, he and I were actually met in Colorado on a hunting trip that was a real adventure. They are true hunters. They've hunted at the ranch, and I've hunted with them. And Anna, she is just amazing. She's the one that came up with this idea. They were both on Shark Tank. They are amazing people. So I love seeing people like this have a business. And I just had to say that in addition to the commercial, because I really believe in the product and I believe in the people that made the product. Be sure and go to pholicious.com or go to Walmart or HEB and try their product. I promise you, you will like it. You're so right, Clayton. Like I feel like, and I actually had a podcast just released Tuesday with a guy that works at a boys ranch in Texas, and it's Trouble Kids, and he was talking about how he used what he's learned from training bird dogs, national champions all these years, to working with unruly kids and stuff and teenagers. There is a psychology that
Mhm.
overlaps. I think I know it sounds bad. We don't want to compare our kids to dogs, but I truly think the psychology of training it overlaps and helps. I don't know how
Yeah.
better way to say that, but
Well, I mean, if with dogs, they can't talk, they don't understand our so you have to be able to be so in tuned with the other thing you're with that you understand what it's going through, what it's experiencing, and kind of
absolutely.
communicate with it without even saying words. And if you can get to where you can understand and be empathetic and have patience and
Yes,
care for that dog, I mean, empathy and care and patience, I mean, how many kids, if they get that, would succeed? I mean, it's the same type of thing.
absolutely. I like that. I'm gonna steal that phrase from you: empathy, care, and patience. Uh, I know you probably been had many days like this, but I picked up yesterday morning an 8-week-old lab pup that's going to be I've trained a lot of dogs and stuff for myself and not other people, and I'm definitely not a pro trainer, but this is going to be a project dog for me that I want to take to the highest level of retriever training. It's a lab, and I'm like you, and I'm a lot older than you, Clayton. I'm 57, just turned 57 last week, so my patience has gotten so much better than when I was younger. Uh, and it's plus I get to do this podcast and listen to guys like you that are pros and learn, and that's what I'm taking all that and want to put it to use.
Yeah.
Uh, but so do you? I know you work some dogs for other people. I guess probably run them on coons and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have access to a pen?
No, I don't use pens. I like for me and my like when I get a puppy, I have my backyard is 3 acres and I have that fenced in. So like during the daytime, I'll let them run loose and they can explore and there's I don't live in a woods, but
Yeah.
there is woods really, really close all around my property. So there's
Okay.
always squirrels and stuff for them to see and kind of interact with nature. And then my kids are always outside, so they get socialized with me and kids. And then there's a woods right behind my house that has a really big swamp in it. So when they're young, I'll take like my son will take a puppy and we'll go back there and just go for a walk and they get introduced to just being free in my yard. And then they're a little bit older. We'll take them in the woods and they learn how to run over logs and cross water and just navigate a woods. And that's kind of
Yeah.
what I do there. But there's the coon population here is so good that as long as you take them out and just get them in the woods, they're going to obviously, like right now, we're in a horrible drought. So it would be not good for a puppy right now because there's nothing for them to smell on the ground. But if the conditions are right, like they're going to have plenty of opportunities to get on something to smell or see.
Okay. Now, have you ever entered a coon dog competition?
Yeah, my when I got my mountain cur, I put him in a handful of them. He got fourth in the Ohio State hunt when he was a year old. He had like 2 or 3 wins in UKC, but cur dogs specifically for coon, there's not a lot of people that do that. So I would travel 3 or 4 hours to a hunt. And there'd be like me and one other guy there. And it was not worth me driving 8 hours and spending time away from home to go hunt with someone. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah.
that was the only thing I did with him. And then um, probably 2 or 3 other casts. One with a blue tick for a guy I was hunting. Beat myself on that cast. We were tied, and it was the last tree, and it was in the summertime. And I found the other guy's coon that he couldn't see, and I told him. So then he won. So that's another reason why I'm not the best competition hunter because I actually want to see the best dog win. I'm not. A lot of people, I know for a fact, if they were in that position, they're not going to see that coon up there and inform their competition that there's one there. But and then I put a couple cast wins on a female that's hunting for a guy a couple years ago. So it's probably been 5 or 6 casts total.
Yeah. 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 It's I've never, even though I was at Automox, I didn't get to watch the hunts. I guess that was kind of restricted that there are only so many people can go do that.
Right.
but I do want to go again and see it. And so, due to the fact you have curs and you grew up squirrel hunting, do you run squirrel dogs much?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love them.
I do too.
Is it usually your curs?
I never had a cur until I was probably 24, 25, but we squirrel hunted my whole life. Dad would we would just take our coon dogs out in the daytime, and there's we had a blue tick and a walker we did that with over the years, and they were smart enough that once you finished them on coon, if you took them out in the daytime and you killed them a couple squirrels, they would even tighten up on track and wouldn't say much in the woods during the day like a cur dog would. And we coon and squirrel hunted them both.
I love that. I did, like I said, I'm not an experienced coon hunter at even at the beginner level, but I did train a mountain cur to train to tree squirrels and coons.
Yeah.
And that was just a project for me. But yeah, so now tell me about your deer hunting.
Like what I do, or like what the quality of deer hunting here is? Yes,
both. I might come up there and sneak in, but no both.
Well, Dad never deer hunted. Dad was in Vietnam, so the idea of around here, especially when I was younger, when deer gun season especially came in, there was 100 people all around you just shooting like crazy. So Dad never got into deer hunting after that. So I wanted to go on my own the one day. I was 13 the first time I went deer hunting, and it was the opening day of gun season. And I just took a bucket behind the house and sat on the bucket, and I had a single shot 12 gauge bead sight break action, just old rusty thing that I got that we had slugs for. And I was sitting there, and it was probably about 9 o'clock. I had to go to the bathroom, so I walked back up the house, went to the bathroom, came back, sat down. And about 9:30, I'm sitting there. Mom gave me some crackers. I'm sitting there eating some crackers and salami. Giant I say 6 point, but I mean, it was huge. The biggest 6 point I've ever seen in my life comes running. It was 100. Now I go back, it's 110 yards. I'm in the woods. It's out in the field, 110 yards away. I drop it with that bead sight 12 gauge.
Was it a smooth barrel?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are horrible. They have horrible accuracy.
Yeah, I have there's no way. I just think where I was so young and inexperienced, I would just call them, and it was just shooting something. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, that's a nice buck. It was just, I'm just shooting something. So I shot it, and I called my dad because he was at work on an old Nokia track phone, I think it was. Told him, I got a 6 point, and he couldn't get off work. So his brother drove his 4-wheeler down. He's like, you said that's a 6 point? I mean, it was just a huge deer. So I guess that is just a 6 point. It was, I don't know if it was just super old or what, but it was.
I've seen it. I've seen old deers, old 6 point. I've shot a lot of deer, and yeah, I've seen them get old and actually decline, but still have a lot of mass and width.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was super wide and tall, but he was just a 6 point.
I bet that. Yeah, that's probably a 7-year-old deer or something. You never know. So you were hooked.
Oh yeah, yeah. But like I said, coaching football and playing football, I mean, especially coaching, you are occupied from June until November. So, I mean,
can't scout.
No, you can't scout. And in the mornings, I'm either at that time I'm in school or working. And in the evenings, if I don't get done with practice until 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, I still have a 45-minute drive home. It's almost dark before I get home. So I couldn't deer hunt much, but whenever I could go out, I started bow hunting a lot more just because it was something else I never did. And I got, I think it was a 9 point. It was nothing huge, but it was a 9 point. I was sitting over this place does not look like this since, of course. I check every year. It's on the edge of a woods. I went in there scouting, and I'm not kidding. There was just rubs and scrapes as far as the eye could see. Like any human being that had any common sense at all could sit there and probably get something. So I just put up my stand, sat there, and all day long. Bucks coming in, bucks coming in, bucks coming in, and then clear across. It was like a half mile away. I could see it coming across the field. It was a pit cornfield. Crossed the road, come right in front of me, and started working that scrape. And I shot that 9-point, and that was
Were
my
you in
first
a tree stand or a ground blind?
tree stand.
Yeah.
I use climbing sticks, and the hang on is what I use because I have a lot of little small patches I can go in. And I don't like sitting in the same place over and over and over again. I like moving around. So I try and stay as mobile as I can. For me, it's more interesting. And I don't know if it helps me out any, but I feel like it does.
Purina Pro Plan. Here at Gundog Nation, we use Purina Pro Plan for our dogs. We actually use the Sport Performance Edition, which is 30% protein and 20% fat, the beef and bison. It contains glucosamine, omega-3s for their joints. It also contains amino acids for muscles and antioxidants. And it also has probiotics. It's guaranteed to have live probiotics in each serving. There's no artificial colors or flavors. We see the difference in our dogs. We see the difference in their coat, their performance, their endurance, and also in recovery. Be sure to use Purina Pro Plan dog food. The reputation speaks for itself. There's a reason that Purina has been around for such a long time. We suggest that you use it, and we are so proud to be sponsored by Purina Dog Food. And I always felt like a climbing stand, the hand climber is more comfortable, the seat.
Right.
Especially the newer ones are pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah. The newer stuff I've been looking at a lot of the newer stuff because my stand, it's old. It's a lone wolf, but it's older and heavier than a lot of the stuff now. The stuff they have now is like, there's nothing to it weight wise.
Those lone wolves are high quality stands though. I like their stuff. What are you, a Mathews guy or Hoyt guy? What do you shoot?
I have a bear because it was nice and affordable and it killed deer for me.
Hey, all the companies, and it's the thing, all of them make really nice bows.
Right.
I got up and bear. I'd went on a bow hunt for bear in Canada, and got up there and I had a Mathews no cam, which is probably the only bad bow they've ever made, in my opinion. Pulled it back because they make you zero in before they allow you to hunt. They're real strict, about their laws. So you have to show that you can hit. The sights flew off of it. Couldn't find them, screws stripped out. And here I was in Canada, flew up there 4 hours from a town, no cell service, no bow. And a guy loaned me a bow. He said, you could use mine. It was a guide.
Yeah.
And it was an elite.
Okay.
And I thought, what's the odds that bow fits me, right? I mean, he looked taller than me. But anyway, long story short, it was perfect fit.
Oh, geez.
And I shot a bow opening day with that. I shot a bear with that bow. And I realized, man, I was a Mathews guy, like die hard, really just kind of like coon hound or redbone, blue tick guy, And then I realized, man, these elites are nice. And then I shot a Bowtech a buddy of mine had. There's so many good bows, and bear makes really good bows. That was my first bow was a bear back in the 80s.
Yes, it's probably like now I feel like it's a lot more even across all the companies as far as there's like a baseline of quality where none of them are going to be like complete junk. Some of them might be quieter, but compared to what things were 15, 20 years ago, they're all still perfect.
Yes. Yes, I think Hoyt, it's funny when you're in the east of the Mississippi River in the United States. This is just my experience. I'm not no proven facts here. Everybody's Mathews person. In the West, in West Texas where I live, it's Hoyt. They're Hoyt people. Yeah. And I think it's just the bow shops, right? I mean, there's Mathews bow shops all up and down the eastern United States. But both are excellent. But yeah. So have you ever used one of these new, very, very expensive crossbows? These new crossbows cost more than a high-powered rifle.
No, I haven't. I have used a crossbow before when I was young, and it was I got it for I think $100. I just wanted to get one to try it, and I saw someone I knew local here had one for sale, and it was it was a Barnett, I think.
Yeah,
it works fine, but it's not shooting tight groups at 100 yards like some of these ones are nowadays.
Oh. Man, these new ones, used to you could get a good crossbow for $250, a good one. Now you can't even buy the sights for a crossbow for $250. And these new ones are super fast and lightweight. I'd like to try one day, but anyway. So now deer hunting, you do archery, muzzleloader, rifle, obviously. Now, are you allowed to use a rifle in Ohio? Used to, you couldn't.
Straight wall cartridges. So I have a 4570, but I don't use that very much. I have a muzzleloader that is basically like a rifle. That's what I use pretty much when I gun hunt. But
yes, and that's another thing. It's came a long way. When I started muzzleloading, we had flintlock, and you'd pull the trigger and you'd count 5 before it went off. You know? You just pull the trigger and you have to hold it steady,
right.
Which I could, not easy to do. And now, shoot at 150 yards or like a rifle.
Yeah. Like that's what with mine, I'd like to use some of my other guns I have, but like if I don't have my buck tag filled and I have that thing dialed in with a scope on it, it's like, I'm not going out there without this thing. If I can see it, I can probably hit it.
Yeah. No, no. What kind of muzzleloader do you use?
Thompson Center Acura V2.
That's my favorite.
I forget the length of barrel. It's like the longest barrel they have. Yeah. I got it. It's nice.
They're nice, and they have a rifle barrel. They're accurate too. Yeah. I even for a long time, Clayton, I deer hunted with a single shot Thompson Center 270.
Yeah,
and that was an accurate dude, man. I mean, yeah, I shot a lot of deer with that. What's the schedule like? What's a normal schedule like in hunting season for Clayton Stark?
In hunting season, that's different now just because I'm not coaching football and I have more kids now. So before I had kids, it was a lot more hunting, especially in the morning. But in the fall, I will squirrel hunt some, but not as much just because there's deer hunters everywhere and I don't want to make anyone mad. But so I will squirrel hunt some like later in the fall. Like right now it would be terrible because there's so much leaf cover and it's still 90 degrees and dry. Season's in, it comes in September 1st, but it's not worth going until mid to late October. I enjoy squirrel hunting more in the wintertime when the leaves are off. Deer hunting, this year I will go as soon as it comes in on the 27th. I don't care what it is. I'm not going to shoot a small buck, but I want to get a deer with that longbow I have. I've been wanting to get something with that thing for a while now. So I'll do that, and I probably won't go crazy deer hunting wise until it cools off sometime, maybe in mid-October. Then I'll start going a lot more. My wife right now, she only has to work 3 days a week. So I'll be able to go between that and not coaching football. I'll be able to go a lot more often. And then coon hunting, that's one good thing about coon hunting. You can go anytime you want. Like if you're not killing anything, like if you're just running your dogs, you can go literally every single day of the year if you wanted. So I go pretty much 3 to 5 times a week, less in the summertime. Specifically August. I'm usually not going a bunch just because the weather is what it is and I'm burnt out and it's just, It doesn't get dark until after 10 o'clock at night. And like this year I think the weather report I saw said we had like 3/4 inch of rain since June or something. Like it is a desert out there. So, I mean, you could still tree coon, but it's hard for me to breathe with pollen and dust and stuff. Like it's not going to be easy on the dogs. And so I still go, but once October comes, I coon hunt a lot just because the weather it's perfect. It's usually 50s, maybe 40s, some nights and clear. And they're starting to take the crops off, which makes it nicer. Cause like this time of year, we have a lot of soybean fields. So if the dogs get out in that can be rough on them. And some dogs, it takes them a long time to get them out of the bean field. So once the crops really start coming off, I go a lot more. And then our season comes in November 10th. So then I usually go a lot in November, but then it doesn't usually take much time and the weather turns for the worst. And then you can still tree them, but around here, there's so much mature timber that it's going to be a den tree every time you tree it for the most part. Luckily, a lot of the places, like the trees are so big, you can see up in them. So if your dog has one or not, but it's just, I wish season came in here like the second week of October or something, just because without fail, season comes in November 10th and usually it's snowing the next week.
Yeah. And how long does your all season last there?
till the end of January. So November
Okay.
10th to like, it's like the 31st or something. I can't remember of January.
And that's firearm
Were you talking coon
for
or
deer? Oh, you're
for,
talking about coon.
I was talking about coon for
Okay.
deer.
Okay.
Archery season comes in the 22nd or 27th and goes out the end of January too. So, I mean,
Okay.
I could bow hunt a lot if I wanted to, but that's bow hunting. That's never hard to do. You can go pretty much anytime you want. If you don't mind being cold, you can go a lot in the wintertime.
Yeah, that's I always liked going in January before season end because they're starting to get scarce for stuff to eat. Now the
Yeah.
big bucks are moving, but man, it's so cold.
Right.
It's tough. Um, and so I guess you don't really. Have you ever upland hunted? Hello, this is Kenneth Witt, and Gundog Nation is proud to have one of their sponsors as Retriever Training Supply, based in Alabama. Retriever Training Supply offers fast shipping on quality gear. Your dog will love it. Visit retrievertrainingsupply.com to purchase gear to help you train your retriever. Listen, they have some of the best leashes I've ever found. It's stuff's made in America. Their leashes are, and they source them locally. They have anything you want, fast, friendly service, fast shipping, just good people. Retriever Training Supply.
No, I haven't. The only other thing I really have done is in the past, I did a little bit last year too. I'll trap just mostly for like coyotes and fox. When I was younger, I did coon too, but I coon hunt so much that I don't even want to worry about that. So I mostly set my sets for coyote and fox. And this year I need to really focus on fox because I'm not kidding. Usually never see fox around here. This week I saw one hit on the road, and I've got multiple on my trail cameras. Like they're just everywhere.
What's interesting? My ranch in Texas is probably 1,800 to 2,000 miles from you. Same problem. I've seen more fox than I've ever seen. When I first bought that ranch, you'd only see grays. Now we see reds, and the reds are more. They tell me the reds are more aggressive at killing my livestock. Or I have a high fence hunting ranch. And I don't know what it is, but they're everywhere. I let some guys come in. Predator competitions are real big in Texas, and they have big purses of $50,000, whatever.
Yeah.
I let some friends go there for that competition, and they killed 7 fox one night.
Jeez.
And they probably, but it's funny that you say that too in Ohio, that far away from us, that you're seeing the same thing.
Because I mean, growing up, like it was something special to see a fox. Like they've always been around, but like now, like if you're seeing them hit on the road, like there's a lot of them around here. If I'm getting them on trail camera, I've seen them just in my yard, seeing them coming in and out of the woods sometimes.
Yeah.
And just growing up, it was never like that. When I was a kid, we used to have a lot of pheasant around here.
Yes.
But you'd always like going to school in the morning, you'd always hear them taking off and flying. But I couldn't tell you the last time. It's been 20 years or so since I've seen or heard a pheasant around here.
So you haven't seen any? What do you all have grouse there?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, it's those places are few. In Eastern Kentucky, down where we're from, grouse was real prevalent in the 80s.
Yeah,
and I don't think that, unless someone tells me different, I don't think there are any left.
Yeah,
it's kind of sad. Yeah, and I hear that about pheasant. I had some friends that were maybe in Illinois that said they grew up with pheasant. Now they don't have pheasant anymore.
Yeah, I know around here, the habitat is just so different. Like for example, at mom and dad's, like I said, growing up, the field next to their house, it was a pasture for livestock, and they got rid of livestock, so it started growing up and getting real thick with grass and stuff, and they were in there. But now that's basically like a small woods. It's so grown up, and there was a few like CRP fields and stuff around where you'd see them in, but I don't know if it's the coyote and fox or what, but there's not much of them around anymore.
What's a type of hunting that you've never done that you would like to do?
Probably bear hunting with dogs.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a bear treed, and I've always wanted to get a bear mounted or a bear skin rug. So that would probably be up there on my list.
I'd like to do that too. I was with what's that guy's name? That's sitting with us at the booth from West Virginia. Why am I blank? I talk to so many people a day.
Yeah.
But he was there with JR and those guys. Kind of a tall boy from West Virginia, about 6'2". Oh, shoot. Is his last name Allen? You would know him. Anyway, those guys are big into that.
Right.
And they've invited me. I think they've taken JR on one, but I want to do that. I bear hunted with a bow. I bear hunted with a firearm. But I won't see them with hounds. That would be something. Heck, you probably got dogs that can do
it. Maybe. I'd have to take them somewhere to do it first. There's bear about 2.5 hours north of me, and there's bear about 3 hours south of me. So there's nothing right here, but it's getting closer.
Yeah, if they're that close to you, it won't be long.
Yeah,
that's another thing in Leslie County, Kentucky. Like you never heard of a bear when I was young, ever. I mean, you just didn't. They were in the Smokies. You hear about them in Harlan, which is only a county south,
right?
But now it's common. They're everywhere.
Yeah. Do you have hogs down there?
In Texas, we do. Yes. Yeah. It's like it's weird. So. Seems like my experience have been, I'm in West Texas, so it's a dry desert. My ranch is kind of not so much dry desert, so we have hogs. But if you have a lot of water, like East Texas and Central Texas and North Texas, the more water, it seems like the bigger the hogs. That's what I've seen, like big. But around my ranch, I think probably you're talking 150-pound boars on average. But you go anywhere else and they can get way bigger than that. Oh. But yeah, it's something. I tell you what, that's something you should try. I got to do that when I first moved to Texas, is hog hunt with dogs. Man, you use a knife. There's no gun. And I'll have to tell you this, Clayton. I got down there. We'd run cornfields all night, and I was killed. It was daylight.
Oh man!
Finally, them dogs. They tore up. It's just in a rig in the back of the truck like you'd have. And all of a sudden he turns them out, and he said, They got a hog, let's go. And I grab a 40 caliber Glock. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, you said I got to kill it. And he said, man, don't take a gun. You'll kill my dogs. Put the gun up. I went, what do you mean put the gun up? That thing. Because we were going in cornfield, Clayton, and this corn was like you start hearing, you can hear them squealing and growling and that thing hollering. It was the awfulest commotion you ever heard. I said, "Do you mean you want me to go in there? And you can't even hardly see. It's so thick." With a knife. He gave me a knife.
Jeez.
And he said, you got to stab it, right under the arm. He showed me where to stab. And I did it. And I'm telling you, you talk about an adrenaline rush.
I bet.
Man, he sent that pit in there, and those dogs are just ruthless. It had a vest on. Yeah. And those dogs, he'd had some dogs that he'd sewn up, he had plots and blackmouth curs were his baying dogs, and then his catch dog was a pit.
Jeez.
And it was the biggest pit bull I've ever seen in my life. But man, it's intense. I mean, that's intense. The boar I killed, there's a picture of it somewhere on my old Facebook stuff, but it wasn't huge. It was to me,
right?
But it was probably 150 pounds. Them guys killed, but he's killed some big stuff, and he did it hardcore. My friend, he was from Seguin, Texas. And I don't know if he still does it, but yeah, that's a trip. I've never got the helicopter hunt for the hogs. Yeah, that's on my list. Yeah, it's funny. The ranch beside me, I see them do that.
No, that sounds nice. Over.
Yeah, but I wish they'd invite me. I'm gonna put a sign up one day. Take me with you. But no, maybe if you ever want to do this sometime, I might hook you up. I've got a lot of buddies in Texas, and we might take you out hog hunting.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's a trip. There's no other hunting like it. I don't think. I mean, there's no hunt where you kill an animal with a knife. Right,
that's a pretty primal experience. You don't get to do that very often.
It's up close and personal, and I think, honest to God, I believe it took me 2 hours to settle down when it was over.
I bet.
I was just, I was wired up. Even in the pictures, I'm wired up, and yeah. But yeah, that's something. And those dogs, man, are ruthless. I've seen people. I know you've seen them in your line of business, but those Jag Terriers,
Yeah.
I had a buddy down in Ozona, Texas, and he couldn't take those jags are so fearless that they get killed. They go into a hog, just get cut up, with tusk, and they have no fear. I've never seen a dog as gritty and gamey in my life as those little jag terriers. When you're getting ready to go on your next hunting trip, make sure you pack the most efficient and reliable ammunition on the market. Migra Ammunition brings you the most diverse loads on the market. Migra's patented stacked load technology is the epitome of efficiency. 2 shot sizes stacked together to create the most diverse and efficient line of shot shells in the industry. It doesn't matter what flyway, what state, or what the weather, the standard remains the same. At Migra, reliable loads that perform in any condition every single time. We're proud to have Migra Ammunition as a sponsor for Gundog Nation.
Yeah, I've never had one, but I've seen them, and it's to a point, like you said, where it's dangerous because it doesn't matter what's in front of them; they're going to just go after it.
No fear. I've had a couple to ranch to blood track, and they're just natural. You don't have to train them to do anything. They're a hunter. They're born to hunt, and there's no training involved. They'll hunt I would think that they'd make an awesome squirrel dog. Because they got a nose,
Right.
But nice. So what's next? What's the next announcements for Clayton Stark? What we got coming up that you've not told anybody yet?
Not a ton, really. Just still doing all the stuff I normally do. I am going to start doing a video series where I've got it all laid out to where it's going to be like 50 episodes long. It's going to be like from start to finish what I do with pups, like how I raise them.
Wow.
Like, because I raise them for other people, especially. I'll raise them outside in a kennel, but like, especially lately for me, I raise my dogs inside the house. So like I'll potty train them, crate train them, like all that stuff, go over nutrition and the different methods I use at different ages, just all that stuff. So I haven't started filming that yet, but I have like all the plans and stuff laid out for it. So that's probably.
Do you have someone to help you do that, to help you film?
No, I wish. No, it's all me.
That's impressive. So you do your own filming and editing and everything?
Absolutely everything is just me.
Well, promise me, when you get that finished, man, we'll put that on here and talk about it. That's a great subject for us to cover on the show. I'll help promote it for you.
Okay.
Any way I can. Not that, heck, man, what am I saying to you? You've got more exposure than me, but I've got all my guys are hardcore dog people that listen to
right.
this. So I'd love to let you, when that's a finished product, be sure and look me up, and
I appreciate that.
We'll go over that. Yeah, because I think that's neat. That's what this is all about. Listen, Clayton, everybody's got their own way of training the dogs, and I'm doing a little video. I just started. I'm gonna go do a few minutes tonight with a puppy that I'm gonna train, and I'm gonna document it, kind of like you're gonna do, but this will not be so structured. And I don't want anyone to think, oh, this is Kenneth Witt trying to be a pro dog trainer. I'm not. And everything that I teach, I've learned from somebody else. I didn't invent this stuff, and I don't want to come across that I'm that way. I may learn stuff from you. I may learn stuff from, all the people I have, but I just want to show that, hey, you can train your own dog.
Right.
It just takes patience and time.
Right. Yeah. I'm the same way. I don't claim that my way is the only way, or I know everything. I just know that what I do produces a dog and a product and a dog that I enjoy and is a good family oriented dog that is intelligent, but is still capable of hunting just as good as you would raising anything else.
That's right. And that's what it's all for. I mean, everybody's got their own, likes. Maybe you want to be a competition guy, whether that's retrievers, coon dogs, or maybe you just want a meat dog or something to hunt with.
Right.
But, Clayton, you're the type of person that I try to bring into this community of Gundog Nation podcast people. We got to preserve our heritage. We got to make this at least appealing to young people so they get involved, or it's going to die off, and it's up to me and you and our kids to pass this on.
Right.
So
very true.
Any way that I can help promote you or what you're doing, let me know. We're all in the same family here.
All right. I appreciate that.
Well, hey, I know you got kids. I know you got stuff to do and you got dogs, so I know you're a busy man. How can people find Clayton Stark on social media?
Just type in Clayton Stark or Stark Outdoors, and I'm on. That's the same handle for all social media, so you'll be able to find me on that.
Okay, and I know you're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook,
And Patreon and YouTube.
Okay, so let's tell people how to find your Patreon.
You can either download the Patreon app or just get on the computer on Patreon and just type in Clayton Stark, Stark Outdoors, and that's how you find me on there too.
Okay, good to know. And then you have a YouTube channel with the same name.
Right. I have 2 YouTube channels, but they're both titled similar to where you'll be able to find them.
Okay, good deal. Clayton, it's been a pleasure, man. Let's not make this our last time.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. And we'll have to try to hunt together.
That'd be fun. Thanks for having me on here.
Thank you very much. You have a great evening.
You too.
Hello, this is Kenneth Witt with Gundog Nation, and I'd like to encourage all you listeners and viewers on our YouTube channel to check out patreon.com/Gundog Nation. For $10 a month, you can become a member of our community, and we'll have access to lots of stuff. Mainly, we'll do a monthly forum, an open forum, where you can ask me anything Gundog related, and we'll learn from each other in the community. Should be a lot of fun each month. We will do that. So check it out, patreon.com/Gundog Nation.